Welcome into ICE 365 Live. Very shortly, we'll be patching across to Andy on the show floor for the opening ceremony. Until then, though, I am in the studio, joined by Simon Thomas, the Executive Chairman of the Hippdrome Casino. Hello, Simon.
Hello, Katie.
Good to have you here. How are you?
Fantastic. It is so brilliant to be back at ICE and just to feel the vibrancy, see the people, and just realise life's getting back to normal.
Yeah, and it's obviously only just the beginning of day one, and the energy is already great, isn't it?
Yeah, well, actually, for me, this started on Friday because everyone comes to see the Hippdrome. So I was out with the head of UNLV, Bo Bernhard, on Saturday. We went to see Arsenal, which he loves, and then had dinner. And then Sunday, I had all the chief execs from the European Casino Association meeting, having a FaceTime together in the Hippodrome. Monday was at the ICE Vox, and again, loads of people back. So it's just a non-stop festival of seeing people and having fun.
Yeah. And was 2021 the first year that you haven't been at ICE London?
Yes, I'm so old. I remember the old ATE days. In fact, I think I sold ATE when I was chairman of BACTA, which was where ICE came from. So I've been coming for 30 odd years.
And why do you think these events are important to the industry?
I think they're more than important. They are essential to the industry. We've seen the last couple of years how miserable life is when you conduct meetings by Zoom. When you come and have live events, you get, obviously, you see people you're not expecting to see. You have conversations you're not expecting to have. You see products you didn't know about. And everything just spurs innovation and drives people forward. These sort of events are essential. And
do you think different types of deals or conversations take place because of being here all together?
No, absolutely. Every ICE I've ever been to, I've gone in with one set of ideas and thoughts and come out with something completely different. I've seen products that I didn't know existed. And it's often the conversations with people that when you get a really good conversation going and it flows, you create, the sum of the parts is much greater than the individual elements of it. It's brilliant.
So you were first announced as an ICE ambassador by Clarion Gaming. Woo! There's some exciting noise happening in the studio. I think it's the beginning of the opening ceremony, which we'll be going across to in a moment. So, the first announced ambassador for ICE by Clarion Gaming, congratulations. What have you been doing to spread the message of the show?
It's quite an honour to be the first ambassador. I didn't even realise that I was the first at the time. and it's quite an illustrious group of people. To be honest, it's so easy to be the ICE ambassador, because when you say to people, I'll see you at ICE, people want to be here. You don't have to sell the product. You don't have to come to London in April when the sun's shining and you've got the Easter weekend after it. People are gagging to come here. And so it's been an honour and a pleasure and a real joy.
And what are you most excited about at this year's show?
Oh, people. I love seeing all these people that I've not seen for a year, 2 years, and rekindling friendships, making new ones, having these discussions. You don't know where they're going to go, and you always learn. You're always sort of thinking, and it gets the brain working in a different way that it works when you're stuck in an office on your own. And so people.
And you mentioned noticing new products that you wouldn't otherwise notice.
Yeah.
Do you sometimes assess what to add for the Hippodrome at these events?
Yeah, I walk around, and even the products. This place is huge. Clearly this year we haven't got as many live casino products, but I've just been looking down the list of exhibitors, and there's loads to see. And it's when you're walking around and you see somebody and they go, have you seen? That's for me always the best thing, because people know who I am, and they see a product and they think, oh, that'd be really good in the Hippodrome.
Yeah.
So people are sort of telling me to go and see things, and it's sort of stuff I didn't know about, and love it.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Simon. Simon's going to stay with me here in the studio, but for now, we're going to patch across to Andy on the show floor, who is at the opening ceremony.
Thank you, Katie, and welcome down to the Centre Boulevard here at London's XL 2022, for ICE London 2022. You know, just under 2 years ago, this venue was making headlines across the UK and the world for a completely different story. But today, Ice London 2022 is back, and it's fantastic. We just saw a brilliant launch ceremony there with the band playing Purple Rain, of course, the Flash Mob Orchestra. And then, well, literally, when Stuart Hunter pressed the launch button, he really brought the roof down. We'll give you some more detail on that later. Look, I've got someone here. Just have a quick chat. Bonnie, come on in. Bonnie, welcome to Ice London 2022. Good to have you here. Have you been here before?
No, this is our first time for Shadow Esports from Berlin, yeah.
So what's the draw for you this year to come to what is a fantastic event?
Yeah, it's very fantastic. Just have a look. A lot of people, very exciting environment, and of course, a very good music.
So
Really.
first day here today, literally
Yes.
coming in here today, your
Yes.
first time. What's your initial impressions of Ice London 2022?
It's very, colorful and a lot of beautiful people, and I hope of a very exciting business here.
And obviously you're here for business, but it's all about learning and engaging, isn't it, at Ice?
Yeah, of course, about learning and engaging. Can't stop the learning, right?
Bonnie, thank you very much for your time. I'll let you carry on because I think the bands are going to start again. Thank you for your time.
Thank you too.
Okay, so we're down here. Look, there's loads of exciting things happening, not just today, but of course over the next 3 days right here at London's Excel. Katie, I'm going to find out just exactly how much of the ceiling came down when they fired off the confetti cannons. Stuart, full whack there with the button. But back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Andy. Looking forward to hearing more about the opening ceremony. Ceremony. Let's get those words out, shall we? I'm going to join back with Simon to talk about the Hippdrome and the excitement of being back at Ice London. So yesterday, you were one of the headliners of the International Casino Conference. Were there any main lessons that you took away for the day? Share with us.
There's always lessons from those sort of conversations. I enjoy those panels when you get 5 people talking from different parts of the world, all different viewpoints, different angles on situations. You learn how international business we are, how many of the issues, threats and opportunities are shared across the globe. And so it's an honor and a privilege to be with that sort of group of people, and a great learning opportunity.
And was there anything shocking or anything surprising about what you learned yesterday?
Yeah, I was completely floored by a question, which I love chatting. But I was asked about the metaverse.
Oh.
And it really made me realize how little I know about that subject. And it's something that I'm wanting to pick up on. So many of the technological advances are brilliant, exciting. Many of them you can't monetize from my point of view. Some you can, and I need to understand and explore that one so I can decide which way I go on it.
And the Hippodrome has become a magnet for ICE attendees over the years. What is happening at the venue for 2022?
Oh, lots and lots. It is extraordinary, actually, because it's almost like the canteen for the for ICE, and we are mobbed every single evening, and it's great fun. You can hear I've got a croak on because I left at about 1 o'clock this morning, and it's for me. I have the buzz of the ICE all day. And then everybody comes to the Hippdrome to see what we're doing in the evening. And the beauty of that property is it's huge. And I have a very, very low boredom threshold. So always changing things. And for a lot of people coming back, they haven't been for 2 years. And we didn't take COVID lightly. We took it as an opportunity to do a whole load of changes that would otherwise have been quite challenging. We actually built a 5th floor on the building. We've got a beautiful new roof terrace. We doubled the size of our outdoor area on the 4th floor, so more gaming tables. We completely renovated the poker rooms, so we've got a beautiful suite of new poker rooms. We created a new casino on the Gods, not unsurprisingly called the Gods Casino. It overlooks the whole of the theatre atrium. If you like heights, it's fantastic. If you don't like heights, you're not going to enjoy it. It's 60 feet up. It's the same height as the dwarfs used to dive from back in the Victorian era into the swimming pool in the bay. It's a mad place. And there were a couple of shops on the front of the Hippodrome which we finally managed to get hold of. And we're currently working on those. So next time people come, it'll be different again because we'll have redone the whole frontage. We're adding in a Chinese restaurant, a cafe bar which will be crepes, cocktails, coffee and champagne with cafe tables out on the street. And underneath it, we're going to have one of these sort of really cool hidden bars. I think the door's going to be one of the fridges in the kitchen. And being designed by a lady called Rachel O'Toole, who is just one of the coolest designers out there. She actually did the Magic Mike Theatre in Hippdrome and the Boozy Tea Room, and we are so excited because they're just always moving, always changing, and it's lovely. And I love it when people from the international casino world come to little old England to see what we're doing, and we go to Vegas to see what they're doing. So it's quite nice to have a bit of a meeting of minds.
And are you expecting footfall from the show tonight to come to the Hippodrome? And what do you have planned? Tell us what you've got on the agenda.
We don't need to plan anything. That's a great thing. We've got 8 bars, and we've got one of the best steakhouses in London. So I know Sigma have got a big event in one of our event spaces. A couple of other companies have taken different spaces in the building for drinks parties, cocktails, whatever. But what we expect is a lot of people to come in, have an awful lot of fun, and just continue the conversations they started here, albeit maybe lubricated with a couple of glasses of whatever takes their fancy.
Wonderful. Thank you, Simon. So we are going to be joined by Stuart Hunter now, the Managing Director for Events Clarion Gaming. Hello, Stuart. Welcome in.
Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too. Come and join us.
Hi, Simon. Good to see you.
So
You
you've
brought the roof down.
flown across.
Literally. As if we needed any more dramas.
You've just flown across from the opening ceremony.
Yeah, absolutely.
How was it? Tell us about it.
It was interesting. Do you know what? Just to kind of get ICE open, really, it's been a real milestone. So, yeah, excited to be here, to get the show on the road and see so many people. I think there's a real excitement and a buzz in the air, so great.
And was it your idea to have the orchestra flash mob?
Well, actually, we've got a really creative team. So obviously every ICE show we think, right, how can we reinvent? What can we do different? How can we kind of create some new level of experience for our guests? And yeah, sort of combined team effort. But always looking forward to do more interesting things. So yeah, it's good.
And how is the show looking? Have you managed to deliver what you were hoping to achieve?
Yeah, I think we have. Obviously, you know, it's well documented that it's been a really challenging period over the last 18 months, 2 years. Certainly more parts of the gaming industry have been more adversely affected, certainly the land-based industry, we know that, but it's coming back strong now. So I think where we are for this year's ICE, obviously it's smaller, but it's perfectly formed, I would say. I think we've got over 400 brands that are going to be here this week. Everyone is super excited to kind of show their wares, and I think, as you can see from the attendees, there's a real need to kind of get together and source new product and learn new things and experience stuff moving forward. So yeah, we're excited just to get the show open this year after 2 long years.
And it's been quite an undertaking for your team, hasn't it? How did you help them get through this?
I think it has been. It's been tough for everyone the last 2 years. Certainly in the organising world, anything live related, we were pretty much closed. The land-based industry, and I've talked to Simon quite regularly about the closures in the casino industry, and it's been really hard for everyone. We had the same thing in the live events world, so we had a long period of time to kind of reflect and think, okay, when we come back, how do we come back stronger? How do we come back with more resilience and just add more value to the experience for everyone? And from a team perspective, it's been really tough. But I think everyone's pulled together. We've had our ups and downs, but this is the moment where the satisfaction, I don't think there is any, certainly from my personal perspective, the satisfaction that you get on delivering a live event once it's open, that really is worth all those long hours, the kind of the struggles that we've had over the last year. So yeah, they're doing well. They deserve this week.
And what are you most looking forward to at the show?
There's lots to see. For me, it's all about the people. I think when we saw registration, you see registrations coming through and you're tracking numbers, and it's a very linear exercise. And it all looks good and sounds good, and we track numbers and kind of, we track people from different parts of the sector, different geographies, individuals, so we're looking at that. But actually, when you're actually seeing physical bodies back together after 2 long years, you're seeing people that you've known for many years, and you're meeting new people as well. That's, for me, the most important thing this week. Being back together, and that's been our slogan, really, together never felt so good. It's been something that we stood by now for 18 long months, and it's still poignant today as it was when we first came up with the campaign. So really just bringing everyone back together, and I'm sure there's going to be some exciting things happening this week. And
Simon, same question to you. What are you looking forward to seeing?
What do I?
At the show, what are you most excited about?
Oh, people.
People.
The products are here anyway, but it is the conversations. It is rekindling friendships, making new ones, exactly as Stuart says. And it has been an incredible journey, and all greatest respect to Stuart and his team, because there were plenty of detractors that tried, honestly, to almost pull the show down. And it just shows the strength of this brand, the strength of being in London, that it batted off the detractors. Obviously, we haven't got some of the big manufacturers here, but they do have different logistical problems, particularly this year, and I'm sure we can get past that next year. But I think it's incredible how London is one of the finest cities on the planet, how everybody wants to come here. This is one of the best shows in the gaming calendar. Everybody wants to be here. And I've seen loads of people already that I didn't expect to see who've made huge efforts to travel out here because they love it.
And just to give a bit of a backstory of the show, so the first show was called ATE, which stood for Amusements Trade Exhibition, which later became ATEI to recognise its growth in internationalism. It launched in Regent's Hall in London. Do you have any idea what year it launched?
1930s?
Go on, take a guess.
Yeah, it was the 30s for sure.
30s, yes, yeah, all right. It was 1936.
There you go.
And of course, so obviously the show was cancelled for COVID, but there was one other time that the show has cancelled since then. Do you know when else that was?
It's a quiz. That'll be the Second World War?
It was the Second World
There you
War,
go.
that's right. So the only other time that the show didn't go ahead was during the Second World War. Some more fun facts for you. So the break for the Second World War was the longest break in between editions. And the show must go on. In 1972, Ted Heath's government was embroiled in an industrial dispute with National Union of Mine Workers, resulting in a widespread power of cuts. When the lights went out at ATEI, exhibitors carried on by lighting candles supplied by the show
Commitment,
organisers.
isn't it?
So they had some candles on hand.
Just
I mean,
imagine the health and safety these days.
Exactly.
Oh, no, I can't do that.
Yeah,
Are there ever any sort of plan B procedures in place? Just say all the power went out. Is there a plan B? Are there any
yeah.
candles on hand?
Yeah, there's a plan B, there's a plan C, but yeah, none of them involve candles. We're not allowed to do that anymore, definitely.
It's just some
Any
really
plans
funky
for repairing
torches.
roofs?
That's there is now. There is now. That'll be well documented, I think.
We were sitting here and we really heard a loud bang.
Yeah.
Didn't quite know what was going on.
Yeah, that was the part of the show probably not expected by anyone. But anyhow, we got through it in the end.
And also, it's always taken place in London, apart from one occasion when it was forced to move to the NEC in Birmingham.
That's right.
Following the July 1980 fire, which nearly destroyed its home at Alexandra Palace. Do you think that the XL will remain its home for further years to come?
Look, we've always been very open about actually, being the custodians of the ICE brand and really ensuring that ICE is in a location that the buyers and the operators want it to be. So we always ask a lot of questions each and every year, but it has up until this point been resoundingly London is its home and its place for it to be. But I think London has huge amounts of strengths. You can see, as Simon pointed this year, in terms of everyone wanting to be here. So that's really our focus this year, is making sure that London has the opportunity to welcome the gaming industry and ICE, and you can see that everyone's made that extra effort, which is really exciting.
And the location, because of the Elizabeth line opening, is going to become even more accessible.
Absolutely right.
It's partially open this summer. Next summer, it'll be here to Tottenham Court Road in
15 minutes, about
15
just over, I
minutes.
think.
It should just make it even better.
Even easier to get to the Hippdrome from here,
Yeah.
definitely.
It still didn't cross my mind, but now you mention it.
I mentioned it. Yeah.
And the show usually takes place in January and February. Do you think the date move has sort of shifted things a bit or changed?
Yeah, obviously,
nature of
our hand was very much forced in moving the show this year due to the variant of Omicron, which happened obviously in December time. So for us to move an event the size and scale of ICE is, I would say, largely impossible. Huge credit to XL, the management team, and our wider team to try and find a solution. This is the week we have. We understand it wasn't the best chosen week for everyone, but really we had no other choice. It was run this week in April or not run at all, and when we spoke to the industry, they really wanted and needed the show to happen. So we sat and positioned in this April, and we've made the best of it, and as you can see, I think everyone's really been committed to coming and joining the show, which is fantastic. Going forward, it will return to February. That's what the industry tells us is the key kind of dateline. It's been its historical position since its inception. It's a key buying time, I think, for the industry, and almost sets the pace for the year ahead. So yeah, we're back next year in February on the 7th to the 9th. So only 9 months of planning left as soon as we finish on this one. So we've got a lot of work to do.
Your poor team.
I know.
Like,
they all want a holiday, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's a debrief next week and then focusing for 23. Well, we've already started, to be honest, but yeah.
Okay, get that in your calendar, folks. And is there anything that each of you would like to tell us about the show that you're excited about that's worth going to see?
I think the biggest thing to say about this show is it's amazing, and a huge welcome to everybody that's travelled out from different countries to come and see us here in London. And I think it's been quite a revelation for people coming from some of the countries where they've still got a lot of strong restrictions, how wonderfully open London is. And it's just put another gloss on it. They can walk around without a mask or any sort of nonsense like that and live again. And I think the show is part of living again.
Yeah, and I think for me, in terms of, I echo everything Simon said. In terms of the feature experience, IH365 Live being a brand new feature to the show, it's great to be here and see it come to fruition. I've seen it on plans, and it's been months in progress, but it's so good to see it live here. I think it was really important for us to try and add a media element to the show, to be able to broadcast content, interviews, and features within the show to those guests that couldn't travel this year. We knew that was going to affect certain people from certain geographies, so just really exciting to see this come together and see it packed full of great content this week. And yeah, it's a great looking feature, and hopefully everyone will enjoy it.
Brilliant. Thank you both so much for your time. Enjoy the show. I'm sure I'll be seeing you later on. For our viewers, thank you so much for joining us for part 1 of ICE 365 Live broadcast. Join us this afternoon again at 2 o'clock for this afternoon's segment. What an opening we've had. Some fantastic interviews and a very exciting opening ceremony indeed.